Planning for your loved one's future. Adapted from a previously published article written by Li Qichuan, integrated estate planning involves the process of providing, preserving, and perpetuating your assets with the intention of making sure that your financial family affairs are in order when you are no more around. News report. In a news report dated August 21, 2003 in a Chinese national daily, a businessman, Mr. Tan from Johor Bahru, was shot dead and left behind parents, minor children and wives. His family members were involved in a legal tussle to distribute his estate. Those who sought court actions to distribute his estate were his surviving parents, eldest brother, the second and third wives. The defendant was his legal wife. The dispute, among others, was over who should be appointed the administrator of the estate, as the deceased did not leave behind a will, and obviously had not done any integrated estate planning. The parties also sought court ruling on the proportions entitled by different beneficiaries. The plaintiffs applied for an injunction at the High Court to prevent the legal wife from extracting the letter of administration, to administer and distribute the deceased's estate. Their reason was that the legal wife was too young, not highly educated and inexperienced. What was interesting to note in the news report is that the estate was frozen and left to rot, while the family members were busy fighting over who should have the right to administer the estate and who should get what and how much. According to the news report, other than lands and cars, the late Mr. Tan owned a number of companies. Some shareholders of the SD and BHDS he owned had taken legal actions to protect their interests as minor shareholders. Though the deceased estate was frozen pending court ruling, the only thing not frozen were the outstanding loans still owed to financial institutions. The finance companies had threatened to tow back the cars he owned as the car loan repayments were not paid on time. Even some of his properties were in danger of being auctioned off because the quit rents were not paid. The above Kisah banner illustrates the critical importance of why a person, especially business owner, must ensure that he plans his estate carefully so that his loved ones are adequately provided for, his assets are preserved, and his estate will be efficiently distributed to the intended beneficiaries. Otherwise the wealth may become more of a curse than a blessing. 1. Providing. In comprehensive estate planning model, the first and actually most important objective is to provide for our loved ones who are left behind. They may include children who are below age 18, minor children, children who are above age 18 but are not mature enough to handle substantial amount of wealth, providing for surviving spouse and surviving parents. Some may even also want to provide for their favorite pets. You can appoint your children's guardian in your will. Other than assigning designated persons to provide care and love to your children, you should be planning to leave them adequate financial resources to pay for their daily living expenses as well as their needs for education and medical care. 2. Preserving. Many people have the impression that once they have written their will, they have done their estate planning. In fact, many financial and estate planning books I came across define estate planning as the process of distributing your assets. This view is just as incomplete as the three blind men who held the image of the elephant they touched. Your assets must be preserved and protected from various risks which may inflict a fatal blow to your estate. For example, your creditors, both secured and unsecured, will go after your estate when the time comes. Even outstanding income taxes must be settled before the balance of the estate can be distributed. Those who are directors of companies often have to stand as guarantors for company loans as required by the banks. If the company loans turn bad, each director will be sued in their personal capacity as guarantor. If the director unfortunately passes away, the bank will sue the estate for the entire outstanding loan amount. That means all the personal assets under his or her names will be at risk. If there is no plan to preserve and protect your estate, then you may not have much to distribute to your loved ones. 3. Perpetuating. After providing for your loved ones and preserving your estate, then we can talk about who will benefit from your accumulated wealth and how much to give them. When come to distribution, many people did not pay much attention to the manner and the timing of your beneficiaries receiving the gifts. If you give your beneficiaries, especially your spendthrift children, too much and too early, before they are ready to handle the wealth, then you may find that they may spend all of it before they have anything to pass down to the next generation. In the material world today, there are many temptations which your beneficiaries can enjoy spending their money. Thus distributing your wealth in an efficient and proper manner ensures that your gifts will enhance the quality of life of your beneficiaries. Furthermore, you should also plan to perpetuate your wealth beyond the immediate generation. Chinese has a saying that wealth may not pass beyond 3 generations. There may be a grain of truth in that. The first generation worked very hard to accumulate the wealth. Because they know the hard work put in by their parents, the second generation knows the importance of holding on to the wealth. However, the third generation are born in a comfortable environment. They are the ones who really enjoy the wealth to the extent of squandering them. Thus you must have some mechanism in your estate plan, to perpetuate your hard-earned assets. Many of the people also want to give back to society. They can set up some private charitable trust funds to fulfill this noble objective. In conclusion, one should take a comprehensive view when you plan for your estate, by providing adequately for your loved ones, preserving your estate so that the maximum can be perpetuated, and distributed to your intended beneficiaries in the most efficient manner.